Hello and welcome back to Imagine Sports, episode 182. This one will be titled Moving to La La Land with Luka Doncic. Listen, a few weeks ago, a trade occurred and a destination appeared in not only Luka Doncic's lives, but also in Jack and Nathan's lives. Fellas, a new chapter has arrived. So subscribe to the podcast, Imagine Sports, wherever you listen or watch your podcasts. Let's get into today's episode. We have not had one in, a week and a half, 2 weeks, since the Super Bowl.
It's been a minute.
Actually, Nate, I think we should address that. This is going to be a basketball episode. Thank God, only basketball. But the last episode was titled, Don't Bet Against Patrick Mahomes. And what occurred, we have not yet addressed. So I think
aged beautifully, honestly, to be honest. You want to save your money, you want to take care of your finances and make good decisions in life. Don't bet on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, that is a true thing. At the end of the day, can't win them all.
Yeah.
Mahomes is still one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And there's more I could say on this. I don't want this to be an NFL episode.
No, hell no.
But, props to the Eagles, props to Jalen Hurts, and props to, frankly, Saquon Barkley for getting them there as the MVP of that team.
You got to tip your hat every once in a time when it's due. But.
Exactly. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can win a Super Bowl, but at the end of the day, we understand greatness versus, it just wasn't your day. So, all right, let's get into the headlines. I have a few things that I want to address personally, but we had the All-Star game this past weekend, and I just had a big takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the fact that it was dragged out and Kevin Hart was on the TV more than any of the basketball players were. There was more basketball that was there was more, commercials during presented in the game, not commercials to take a break from the game. No. When we got back to the game, it was more commercials at the game than there was actual basketball played. So there were a lot of things I would say we should change with this year's All-Star game, but specifically what occurred on the court, one thing stuck out to me, and that was that Jason Tatum and Stephen Curry are not only the two best American basketball players, and we were robbed of that duo this summer because of Steve Kerr. Those two guys are the best players in the game of basketball. Those are the two best players when they pick up a basketball and go get a bucket and go lead your team to victories. It's Jason Tatum and it is Stephen Curry. Say what you want about Nikola Jokic. Say what you want about Giannis or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai had a great first game against some scrubs that Kenny drafted. He didn't play well when it mattered most. Jokic missed a bunch of shots. I understand it's an all-star game, but we were doing this thing last year when Tatum won the MVP of the all-star game, or 2 years ago. And I'm saying to myself, I understand it's an all-star game, but these are the best players all playing on the same court. It is very evident and obvious who the best ones are. So it was Stephen Curry and it was Jason Tatum.
So when Russell Westbrook won 4 All-Star Game MVPs, was he the best player in the world for 4 years straight? I don't think so.
He was one of the best. He was one of the best, was he not?
I think
according to you are the biggest Russell Westbrook fan in the entire world.
Yeah.
So why are you bashing Russell Westbrook with that?
No. I'm just talking to you when I say that because you said specifically, and you disagree with my take when I said that I believe that Russell Westbrook at one point was the best player in the world. There was a certain time in basketball history, and if real ball knowers know, Russell Westbrook in 2017 was the best player in the world at one point. And you've disagreed with that.
I disagree just because Steph Curry exists.
Not in that frame of mind.
In 2017, that was just after he had won a unanimous MVP and Kevin Durant had joined forces with him. Mm-hmm. There was a player that chose Steph Curry over Russell Westbrook. So I get your argument. I get your argument on Westbrook though. I don't even know where we were with the argument, but basically, I think an all-star game means something. And for Westbrook to go out there and win 4 in a row, that he's one of the all-time greats.
I mean, it's like bringing energy to the game.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it necessarily means like Steph Curry and Jason Tatum right off the bat, but they had a good All-Star game. They had a fun All-Star game. You know,
They were the two guys. They were the two guys that stuck out to me in that final game.
Yeah, that's fair.
15 and 12.
Not just because we were betting on them.
No, not just because we were betting on. You look at the stats. Not just because they're my two favorite players.
Right.
No, just because they're my two favorite, they can also be great. And the fact of the matter was that team won, and it was because of those two guys.
So talk to me like alternatives-wise. Like what else can you see for the All-Star game? You said that, you know, obviously like the long commercial breaks and the long pauses throughout the game, like it's getting excessive. I think it's getting too much. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But what do you think?
Well, I think ultimately we've been having this conversation since the last All-Star game.
Since the last All-Star
Well, yeah, like every All-Star game, we have conversations about this, but I remember specifically last year, there was a popular format going around, and it was the one-on-one format. At the end of the day, that's what the people want to see. That's what the debates are all about. It's these one-on-one conversations that we never really get to see in 5-on-5 basketball, because we all know it's a team sport. We get glimpses of it. Mm-hmm. We get LeBron backing down Curry every once in a while, but I want to see Giannis and Jokic go at it one-on-one on the biggest stage. And I think that is the only way. You got 25 future first ballot Hall of Famers in the game of basketball today. There's no reason you can't put together a sick 16-player one-on-one tournament, pay the winner $1 million, make it valuable to them. They are millionaires. It's got to be a big prize. I was thinking more like $3 million, but you know, at the end of the day, give them.
They could afford $3 million. Get the hell up out of here.
At the end of the day, it's got to be around $1 to $2 million, but you have to have an incentive. There has to be a prize. This is how I would fix NBA All-Star Weekend. I would go every single year, until Steph Curry retires, and maybe after that. Listen to me right now. Listen to me right now. No. This is the start of my take. On Saturday night, I don't know what they're going to do Friday night, the Rising Stars, whatever the hell it is. Saturday night, get rid of the skills challenge. I said this last year. There is no skills challenge that works. Not a single one. You can change it. You can change how many balls you got to pass through tires, how many shots you got to make. Nobody cares about the skills challenge, and it doesn't mean anything. It is literally a carnival of a competition.
It is.
Okay? We get rid of it. Okay. We start the night with Stephen Curry versus Caitlin Clark for a 3-point competition.
Cool.
Got it? Or do we start the night with a normal 3-point competition?
I think Sabrina. You got to put Sabrina and Dame.
So this is part of my argument. I love Sabrina. I think Sabrina against Steph was awesome. But at the end of the day, that didn't happen this year, and there's a reason why it didn't happen. It's because the person who sells it did not want to do it. You got to get Caitlin Clark versus Steph Curry as this big, like, heavyweight boxing match on Saturday night. So actually, I'm reversing what we're doing here. We're going to go a normal 3-point contest to start. No, because you have to have that. You got your Trae Young, your Damian Lillard. Those guys are not Steph Curry.
No, but what if you did a two-man?
Lot of shooter. No. I'm not doing no two-mans. I want Steph Curry versus Caitlin Clark, and I want nothing else.
Curry and Dame on a two-man.
No, I don't want Dame. I don't want Klay Thompson. I don't want Sabrina. I love you, Sabrina. I want Stephen Curry versus Jason Tatum. No.
Fuck you out of here, man.
Listen to me. Regular 3-point competition. You get rid of the skills competition. Then you go dunk contest with... Cool. Okay, so we're saving Curry versus Clark for after the dunk contest. Got me?
So that's the main event.
Or actually, do we go... No. I'm sorry I'm switching on the spot here, but we're building a parlay at the end of the day.
Imagine Sports.
Listen to me. I am giving the NBA what it needs to do. How to fix NBA All-Star Weekend. Regular 3-point competition. Then we're going to do Stephen Curry versus Caitlin Clark, heavyweight matchup, 3-point competition. Then we do a dunk contest. Mac McClung saved the dunk contest. I did not have the dunk contest in this until Mac McClung decided to save the dunk contest.
Repeat.
So Mac McClung is going to go for a 4-peat next year. I believe, you might have to fact check this for me, I believe the All-Star game is in Boston next year. So this is
it's not. It's in LA.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's in
I just
Boston?
I don't know when. I don't know when it's Boston time, but it's not Boston time. No,
All right,
LA.
well, I mean, if
We here, baby.
if it's LA, then it's LA. That's
If it's
dope
LA,
too.
then come here. Crypto's what? 5 minutes down the street from here.
Yep. All right, so dunk contest. Mac McClung, Ja Morant, Aaron Gordon,
Nope.
Zach LaVine.
In your wildest dreams, NBA's
In my
never
wildest
doing
dreams, figure it out, NBA. There's money. There's this thing called money. Utilize it. You're the NBA. You have all of it to just pay these guys to just do one event. That's all it takes.
that. True.
That's all it takes for us to watch is to get Mac McClung,
They don't
Ja
listen to us,
Morant,
though.
and then two guys who are historically known for having dunk contests that will never be replicated. And I get Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon might be a little out of their prime, but who wouldn't love to see if they can do that again? And then obviously we all want to see Ja Morant dunk, and he tweeted out something, saying, hey, this might actually make me, Mac McClung might make me do the dunk contest.
I gotta see it for myself. He said it would take like 1 billion likes for him to join the dunk contest or something like that. He's not doing it, to be honest. But you know what? Bring it to me.
All right.
Get your popcorn out. if
Okay.
it does happen.
And then two final things. This is a Saturday night final event. There's a chance they put it at Sunday, kind of during the day. A lot of options on the table, but here are the two events. It's the one-on-one tournament.
Okay.
$1 million
That's Sunday.
prize. I would go 16 players, but I mean, you can get creative. It's got to be 16 of the best players, and it can't just be like Anthony Edwards is not playing all of a sudden. No, I need Giannis. I need Jokic. I need Shea. I need Tatum. Okay. I need Steph. I need LeBron. I need KD. And then you get the East versus West. We bring that back because at the end of the day, it's fair and square right now. Jason Tatum wants Steph Curry. LeBron would play. Ant would play. KD would try a little harder. The East versus West has to return. That is the conclusion to NBA All-Star Weekend. I would even put a little incentive or charity on the East versus West because that seemed to work when it was happening. They got intense during the years when the games were to 24 to end the game. So that's how to fix NBA All-Star Weekend.
Bring it on.
All right. Jimmy Butler to Golden State. We talked about this last episode, and so far I believe they're 3-1 with him. Do you have any takeaways? I sure do.
Watch out.
But
I'm gonna say watch out.
What's your main takeaway from watching Jimmy Butler through 4 games with Golden State?
He is everything that Golden State needed and more. You lose a guy like Klay Thompson, and then you trade away Andrew Wiggins, and you see that Curry's motor, it can't go for much longer at this moment in time. The Warriors were reaching out to the Phoenix Suns, I believe it was, for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was blindsided by the trade. He kind of shut it down. He didn't want it. We all wanted it, but he didn't ultimately. And they got Jimmy, and Jimmy's going to bring not only energy, facilitation. Jimmy's an on-ball player. Steph Curry's an off-ball player. And they're like the Warriors locker room is just nothing but good vibes right now.
Yeah, I mean, you make a move, and then it's an energy shifter at the end of the day. I feel like after Draymond Green says something on the telecast that he did during All-Star Weekend, which is, we're guaranteeing a championship. The Golden State Warriors are going to win it all, according to Draymond Green. I don't hate the statement, and I actually feel a certain type of way about it. But before I say that, what are your thoughts on a player like Draymond Green, who has kind of had a history in the past few years of making some mistakes to cost the Warriors, frankly?
Yeah.
And now he's coming out and making this crazy statement. Are they going to back it up? How do you feel about the statement?
I mean, obviously we know that Draymond loves to talk crazy, and a lot of people say that the downfall of the Warriors dynasty is because of Draymond.
Yep.
I think that Draymond has always the team's best interests kind of at heart. Obviously, he can be a distraction potentially, but I think that at the end of the day, Draymond, Jimmy, and Steph, you can't tell me that's not going to work.
Bro,
There's no way.
I've been saying this for a very long time. If Golden State ever got Jimmy Butler, it was the double kryptonite for the Boston Celtics. Like, people don't understand. If Jimmy Butler is a top 10 player, he's a top 10 player. Like, if he's in his best form, he's a top 10 guy, and Golden State goes to the finals. I'm not going to sit here and say Boston can't beat Golden State with Jimmy Butler. Absolutely not. We're the defending champs, and we're going to go back to back. But it will be a series, and I would expect to see Golden State.
Bro, if you give me a team in the finals, if you give me a finals matchup between Jimmy Butler and prime Kevin Durant, I'm taking prime Jimmy Butler to lead his team over another team led by Jimmy Butler. I would rather have Jimmy Butler in the finals than Kevin Durant because he's done something that Kevin Durant has never done, and he has led 2 teams to the NBA Finals, something that Kevin Durant has never done. He's done it once while he was on the Thunder, Baby Thunder versus Miami. They lost in 5 games in that series, but at the end of the day, like,
well,
KD,
we get to see it.
What did we listen to earlier today when they said Steph and LeBron? Those guys are the face of the NBA. Kevin Durant, he's just like a coming to work type of guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I feel like Jimmy Butler put a franchise on his back at the end of the day. Did Kevin Durant? I mean, Oklahoma City in those early days, I think people forget about that. He did. He put OKC on his back. He took him to a finals. Obviously, Westbrook was there. But the beauty of what you just said is we now get to see Jimmy Butler fill the Kevin Durant role and see if he can do it or do it better, right? Mm-hmm. Can Jimmy Butler come in there and be even more impactful and more fluid with Steph Curry? I don't think so, because I think the Steph KD dynamic was one of the most beautiful duos in NBA history. So it's going to be tough to top, but a guy like Jimmy Butler, like I said 3 minutes ago, if he's playing his best basketball, he is a top 10 basketball player in the world, and that is saying a whole lot with the talent we have in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And then again, I still trust Jimmy Butler to be the guy for the Warriors. I don't think he can necessarily replicate what Kevin Durant has done, because Kevin Durant and Steph were both in their primes. Like 3 out of the 4 years that they were together, they won. Or they at least made it to the finals, and the only thing that stopped them from winning were injuries. So that's true unstoppability.
Yeah, at the end of the day. So Draymond did say, none of these teams scare me. He's referring to Oklahoma City and Denver. Mm-hmm. And I'll throw LA in there, maybe Minnesota. He was talking about Houston. Memphis is at the top. We were talking about that earlier. Those 2 teams were respectfully cooked in the first round despite having good regular seasons. But when Draymond says none of these teams scare me, do you look at Oklahoma City and Denver and take a step back and say, are these teams championship caliber?
They have no chance against Denver. Denver is built to eat off of Golden State like a bunch of scraps.
You don't think
they don't have the depth?
You don't think Jimmy Butler wants that revenge on Jokic?
No, I think Jokic has his number, because not only are they undersized, but their roster is more deep. I mean, Draymond's
going to answer for Steph. I'm going to be honest.
No, because Westbrook's has been is an all-league defender this year.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a ring because of the guy he would play in that situation, Stephen Curry.
Okay,
it's Westbrook's worst nightmare is Stephen Curry. He's not.
He doesn't get eaten alive by Steph Curry like Dame, for example.
I feel like Steph playing the Denver Nuggets as barbecued chicken. As a matter
Jamal
of fact,
Murray and
it's
Russ.
chicken nuggets. It's McDonald's chicken nuggets, McChickens.
Who's stopping Jokic? Who's stopping Michael Porter Jr.? Russell Westbrook and Jamal Murray are both going to be eating.
Jimmy Butler, the 2 of the best defenders in the NBA.
Yeah, but I just don't think it'll be enough.
Trace Jackson Davis.
Oh, Trace Jackson Davis, not that.
Yeah, I do think what Draymond said, actually, wholeheartedly, I agree with the statement. Until you play Boston. You'll lose to Boston, it'll be a good series. But what he said about the Western Conference and how he's not scared of anybody, he is hitting it nail on the head. People have to take a step back, look at Oklahoma City. That's the team to beat. A team that has beat one team in the playoffs. The New Orleans Pelicans without Zion.
That was their first year.
I get it. That's our sample size, though.
You get it.
That is it. That is all we have to show for out of OKC's resume.
Let me read this.
Denver's a champ. I get that argument. OKC is not a legit team to beat. They're a first-round exit if they ain't
That's
careful.
what everybody was saying about the Boston Celtics before they got their first ring.
Absolutely not. I was saying they're going to win it all, or they're going to be a contender every single year.
Obviously that's what you would say, but what I'm saying is every team is going to have their phases of, hold on. Every single team is going to have their adversity of, oh, yeah, you guys can't do anything in the playoffs. You guys haven't proved it yet. OKC is the youngest team in the NBA.
Right.
If not
exactly
the top 5 youngest. They're going to get it together eventually. They're going to make a finals. We just don't know if it's going to be this year. And I don't know if it's going to be this year. But let me read this out for you. OKC is the only team who hasn't lost a game by 20-plus points this year. So, and they're also the only team, well, next to Boston, that's top 5 in offense and defense this year. So I've told you this before. I think OKC literally constructed their rosters to beat Boston. Like they have a Derek White, they have a Jason Tatum, they have everything that Boston has, but their own version of it. They're not better than Boston in my opinion.
Who's their Jason Tatum?
Their number 1 option, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Okay, continue.
So yeah, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's still better offensively. I probably would lean Tatum overall. Like, I probably would rather want Tatum on my team.
Yeah, so, maybe. That's because of his offensive ability. And once you admit to that, at how great Jason Tatum is with the basketball, he's the most unguardable player on the planet.
No, that's Shai.
No chance.
No, actually, Luka.
No chance.
Luka.
Jaylen Brown locked him up. We had no problems with Luka Doncic.
He didn't get locked up. He stripped him a few times.
And by the way, 4 years ago, 4 to 5 years ago, it was nobody can guard Giannis Antetokounmpo, and we locked his ass up. At the end of the day, Jason Tatum is the most unguardable player in basketball, and it's only a matter of time when people understand that and come to realization. I would love to see nobody wants to admit it.
I would love to see the day that Jason Tatum's
everyone wanted Anthony Edwards to be the face of the NBA. All of a sudden, he does not want to be the face of the NBA. This is a shocker. How? And frankly, I think Anthony Edwards just has come to his own realization. He's not as good as Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum doesn't want to be the face of the NBA either.
He does.
No, he doesn't.
And he is.
I would love to ask him, be like, yeah.
He is.
We did it.
Oh, we did it again. At the end of the day, man, when Tatum goes back-to-back and has a chance to three-peat and potentially wins MVP this year, he's the face of the NBA at that point. So why not say it now? Because I know that's going to happen.
If he three-peats, I think that's his. I think that's his crown. Yeah.
What if he goes back-to-back?
Back-to-back, I think everybody's going to start looking at the Celtics like the Kansas City Chiefs. You three-peat and you're the Boston Celtics. You're the 80s. You're the classic Boston Celtics guy. If you three-peat, because then you recontrol the NBA for real. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I do want to bring this up though. The other day you said something and it really caught me off guard. You think Donovan Mitchell's not a top 10 player in the NBA today, and I disagree for that statement. I disagree. I think Donovan Mitchell's most certainly top 10.
Well, would you like me to list off 10 players better than Donovan Mitchell?
Go for it.
Okay. 10 players better than Donovan Mitchell. Jason Tatum. If I heard a peep through this, I would have lost my mind.
Tatum's better. Okay, that's one.
Because you know what's crazy before we move on? It's a beautiful thing. You know, once I was able to pick up Nathan about a week and a half ago, I finally got to watch Jason Tatum with him and have him experience the greatness on a different level, which is watching it alongside me. And frankly, I don't think he does watch Celtics basketball ever unless it's maybe on TNT. So he finally was able to witness Jason Tatum. And in those 3 games, he dropped more than 30 points all 3 times. And I hope after those 3 times, he understands the greatness of Jason Tatum.
I understand how Jason Tatum's one of the better players in the NBA and one of the best in the world.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. All right, Tatum, Jokic, Giannis. That's okay, but he will outduel
Tatum,
all
Jokic,
of
Giannis.
the one. Like we're gonna put a group of people together. It's Luka, Shai.
5. This is where it gets tough. I mean, that's an indisputed top 5. He's gonna start fishing.
We were talking about Donovan Mitchell. LeBron, KD,
He's already wrong.
Joel Embiid.
Wrong. You remember how you were giving me crap for putting Kawhi Leonard in conversations now? That's exactly what he just did, listing Joel Embiid.
He won an MVP a year and a half.
In 2025.
He won an MVP a year and a half ago. The Philadelphia 76ers
are the 10th seed.
Because Embiid doesn't play.
Yeah.
Oh,
unavailability is, what's the quote again?
No,
he's not in there.
It shows he's the best player, and
they even make
for
an all-star
him not
game.
being there, it cost them
48%.
That doesn't take away from Joel Embiid being one of the best 8 players in the game. You would rather have Donovan Mitchell than Joel Embiid?
Yes, I would.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I would.
Oh my goodness.
One is a number 1 seed. One is never even available and doesn't give a crap about his team or his contract or anything.
Who cares about being a number 1 seed in the NBA? The regular season means nothing.
All right.
It means absolutely nothing.
And by the way, Kevin Durant is no shot in hell better than Donovan Mitchell today. Hell no. I'm taking that one out for sure. I might let you get away with Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid's won an MVP. Fine, that's fair to say. But Kevin Durant's better than Donovan Mitchell today?
Jaylen Brown.
Wow. He knows he's trolling. All right, that's 9. That's the 9 that you think are better than Donovan Mitchell. Comments, fry this man. Donovan Mitchell. You need to see Donovan Mitchell like actually play basketball. I know you don't watch the Cavs.
Why am I missing anybody?
You have 9.
I know. I feel like I'm struggling to like get a top 10 list in the NBA. That's not okay because I thought that it was like about the greatness of the NBA, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you said Jokic.
Shea, Luka, LeBron, KD, Embiid, Brown. That would be disrespectful, but I could put Wemby right now. I would honestly take Wemby over Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, you forgot Steph Curry.
Oh, my goodness. I forgot Steph Curry. All right, bet. That's easy. That's we're going to put Steph right after Jason Tatum at 2. Okay, that's 10. Those are 10 players. Those are 10 players better than Donovan Mitchell in this current moment. Jason Tatum, Stephen Curry, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, and Jaylen motherfucking Brown.
Nope. Jaylen Brown is definitely not better than Donovan Mitchell. That's the craziest thing I heard out today.
Anyways, let's talk about the next face of the NBA though, and how Anthony Edwards said what he said. Doesn't want to be the next face of the NBA. Who's it going to be then? If it's not Anthony Edwards,
it's Wemby.
Is it Victor Wembanyama? I don't know. I feel like Wemby's just tall. Like he's awesome and he's like kind of a freak of nature. I get all that, but like look at a guy like Steph Curry, who was 6'2", 6'3", short, undersized his entire career, and now is named a top 5 best basketball player of all time, in my opinion. Top 3. Some would say, including myself, he is the greatest of all time. That's a 6'3" dude who just picks up a basketball and cooks everybody. Victor Wembanyama is going to have to climb a very tall mountain because he's tall, you know? So I don't know if he's going to live up to the hype expectation that has been put on him the very second he entered the NBA. I'm going to say Vic is not the face of the NBA.
Well, I mean, obviously you're just saying it because you're a Tatum guy, and
I think Tatum cooks Victor Wembanyama in every single matchup they play. Victor Wembanyama is not
like Spurs versus
from a basketball standpoint, holding the ball and having skills. Tatum here, Vic's here. There's not.
Well,
they're not on the same level.
They're in year 2.
100%. I get that. Vic's gonna have to climb that ladder.
I think
will he though? I don't know if he'll ever. I don't know if he'll
20.
ever get on the efficiency of shooting like Jason Tatum, like playing like Jason Tatum.
Looks like he sounds kind of nervous.
I am. You know, he's 7'6". Of course, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
But Jason Tatum is 7'1", so it's all good. All right. Anybody else? So Victor, you know, there are other guys in the conversation. Cooper Flagg, a guy that's going to come out next year.
Man, Cooper Flagg's a dog. Cooper Flagg's a dog.
He's a dog. He's He could compete.
He's
I
a
think
monster
I
defensively.
think we might be 5 years away from a Cooper Flagg face of the league conversation.
When was the last time you've heard of like a high schooler who hasn't even played college yet cook NBA players? We haven't heard of somebody doing that since LeBron. And now Cooper Flagg.
I think Tatum was.
We've all heard the chatter. We've all seen the videos of him knocking down 30-foot threes in front of Anthony Davis's face and FaceTiming him. Cooper Flagg is going to be a problem in the NBA, but he apparently wants to stay at Duke another year. We're going to see how that plans out.
That's not true at all. Anyways, I have 2 other guys on the list, but I don't believe they're going to be next face of the league guys, next face of the NBA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander could be thrown in the conversation. I just think
who's like your top 2.
I think he's someone that's just super talented, maybe gets a ring, but at the end of the day, he's not a face of the NBA type of guy. Tatum's the face of the league. People just need to realize that.
Nobody really realizes that.
Yeah, and that's sad. It's unfortunate that you don't want to appreciate his greatness in the moment, but one day you will. When he three-peats, maybe that's when you guys will be like,
see him like take
Jason
control.
Tatum is actually nice.
Well,
He takes control every night. When Brown doesn't play, they win. He scores 40.
Yeah, but like the thing is, like people need to see him like take control and the aura of the NBA. Like if you pay attention to,
he does. You just don't watch
to the TV to the All-Star game, for example. The camera's always on Wemby. It's always like the little details that you have to pay attention to, and obviously,
because it's Wemby.
You know, JT has won a Finals MVP. Well, no, a Finals. Still looking for a Finals MVP.
We'll get it.
But that's what he needs to prove, and it'll come in time because he's young.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of. I mean, if I had a top 3, I would say Wemby at 1. I would put Luka at 2, especially with the spotlight on him now in LA. And I would either put Tatum at 3 or SGA.
Okay.
One of those 2.
All right. We got a few more things to talk about, and then we'll get on out of here. NBA Finals bubble. I do believe when you look at both conferences, we'll start with the East, keep it short and sweet. It's the Boston Celtics coming out of the Eastern Conference. Mm-hmm. There's 2, maybe 3 teams that can compete. And by compete, I mean contest. And by contest, I mean win maybe 1 game in a 7-game series against the Boston Celtics. So that would be a 5-game series. And that would be the Cleveland Cavaliers, the New York Knicks, and the Milwaukee Bucks. And I would put Cleveland kind of ahead of both of the 2 teams that I mentioned, but having the star power of Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think will take you farther than a team that's had a great regular season in Cleveland. Yes. I think Milwaukee could maybe have the best chance of beating the Celtics of any of those 3 teams.
Yeah.
I don't think they do. I don't think they can. But if you're going to say who has the best chance, it's the Milwaukee Bucks. So Boston's coming out of the East. Yeah. In the Western Conference, I think there's 2 tiers. I think you look at OKC and Denver on the same tier. Tier 1. That's going to be the Western Conference Finals if it goes the way it should. There's an upset situation where Tier 2 is the NBA Western Conference Finals instead, which would be Lakers-Warriors. And that's where this kind of new rendition of the Warriors and new rendition of the LA Lakers works out. The greatness of LeBron and Luka, the greatness of Jimmy and Steph, take down what I would consider not complete and somewhat flawed Tier 1 teams in the Western Conference in OKC and the Denver Nuggets. So those are my thoughts. Those 4 teams, OKC, Denver, LA, Lakers, and the Golden State Warriors, and obviously Boston out of the East.
Solid. Yeah, so we both think the Celtics are going to come out the East.
Yep.
You think it's going to be as easy as it was last year. I think it's going to be a little harder this time around.
For sure.
But, the West bubble for me happens to be the Denver Nuggets, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Golden State Warriors. I don't have the Thunder in theirs because I don't think that they're capable of getting it past any of those 3 teams. I think if the Thunder...
You don't think the Thunder can get to the NBA Finals?
I don't think the Thunder can get to the NBA Finals if they see any of those 3 teams.
They're going to.
Which means they're not going to get to the NBA Finals. But I think
you're the biggest Shai Gilgeous-Alexander fan on planet Earth.
I think
explain
that
this.
those 3 teams.
You don't think OKC gets to the Finals?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think their ceiling this year is the Western Conference Finals. Like last year, you said that they lost to the JV team and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, but this year it's about taking steps in the positive direction. A lot of people have been saying OKC's the juggernaut, and OKC's the the only team that hasn't lost a game by 20 points. They look really, really, really good. And yes, that's all true.
Bro, you're debating yourself right now. You literally were saying all of those things earlier in the episode, praising Oklahoma City.
Yeah, exactly. They look like such a regular season juggernaut. They have all these green flags, but it's too many. So at the end of the day, I think they're going to be exhausting themselves, and I don't think that they can have the motor to make it to an NBA Finals. I think the Nuggets are just more experienced. I think the Nuggets could beat them. I think the Warriors, Jimmy Butler, definitely has their number. And so, I mean, they don't want to play the Lakers.
I feel like you're kind of analyzing the Western Conference Finals and the NBA race as a whole, kind of like how you analyze women. Like at the end of the day, you're looking at the OKC Thunder and they're, the odds-on favorite, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, clearly the MVP in this current moment, and you're sitting here saying, nah, too good to be true. Like, why? You've literally been the main Shai guy. All you have done in our podcast ever since the NBA season started, and frankly, before that, is try and tell me how OKC, watch out for OKC. This is the team that built their team to compete with Boston. And now you're going to sit here and say they're not even an NBA Finals contender?
Yeah,
not even in the bubble?
They're a contender, but
that's what
they're
we're
out
doing.
of my bubble because I don't think they're going to make the finals.
All right.
But
you're going to switch up next week and have OKC as the best team in the NBA.
I have OKC as maybe the best team in the NBA as we stand because, SGA, he's an MVP candidate. But sometimes they look too good.
So there is no world where OKC makes it to the NBA Finals this year.
I think there's a world that it happens, but I think it doesn't happen. Like, obviously, their chances are good, but I don't think
somebody needs to tell you what an NBA Finals bubble stands for.
Yeah, well,
I'm not an SGA guy. I'm not an OKC guy. They're in my NBA Finals bubble. They're the best team in the Western Conference right now by record.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well,
hey, I'm not one to say don't be bold. I'm just like, where did that come from? It's more like I don't even understand the analysis behind it because all you do is make fun of me every time I bring up Golden State. The Lakers with Luka Doncic
I'm serious about Golden State too. I like Golden State.
Okay, fine. And you're serious about you think the Nuggets go to the NBA Finals?
Well, I'm a Nuggets guy. Like they're like my team this year.
Got it.
Got
it. I thought your team was OKC.
Well, then we got a long way to go because
yes. Anyways, I believe with Luka and LeBron, we kind of just talked about this a little bit, NBA Finals bubble, but more specifically about the Lakers. You see Luka join the team. It wasn't like it was a great start by any means. He didn't have stats that were like
popping out
eye-catching by any means. Yeah. But the way I look at the Lakers' chances, you match them up with all these different Western Conference teams, and it's like if they get their motor going and they kind of have some momentum, they figure out a way to play somewhat together, chemistry gets there, they're going to outplay the Denver Nuggets in a playoff series. Why? Because they did it last year. Ooh. So now the Lakers. The Lakers in their playoff series against the Denver Nuggets last year in the first round, despite losing in 5 games, they outplayed the Nuggets in every single game of that series and just didn't have the closer. Now it's Luka Doncic. And I would take Luka over Jokic in kind of a duel. We haven't seen that in the playoffs yet. So the Lakers can outduel the Nuggets. Luka owns OKC. Okay? We saw that last year. If the Lakers play the OKC Thunder, like you were just saying, the Lakers are going to win that series. Luka owns Minnesota. Don't let Rudy Gobert anywhere near the LA Lakers and Luka Doncic because we know what will happen. Houston and Memphis, they're too young. They're not going to go to an NBA Finals. And, LeBron, Luka, they would take care of business against those two teams. I think we could be heading in the direction of a Lakers-Warriors Western Conference Finals. As we speak, February 18th, 2025, this is when we call our shot. Lakers-Warriors. Steph, LeBron. Throw Luka in the mix. And Jimmy Butler, too.
So Lakers-Warriors in the Western Conference Finals.
I don't hate it. I think there's two options, though. Or it's like any combination of those four teams.
Right. I think, like, I'm very confident in like the old heads still being in the mix.
Yep.
Like we have to see another Braun versus Curry matchup in the playoffs, and it's gonna feed families.
Yeah. All right. Let's do, before we get out of here, let's do one final thing. Let's draft NBA players right now. So
Okay.
based off of what we've seen first half of the NBA season, we're at All-Star break. Drafting NBA players right now to form a starting five. I'm going to form a starting five to beat your starting five. All right. With the first overall pick in the NBA players draft,
Keyboard jiggling.
I could get strategic here.
Get as strategic as you want. I mean, I think you're going to take Tatum, no?
Would you have the guts to take Tatum in any situation?
I mean, depends what the cards that I'm being dealt, you know? I mean, I don't think I would ever take Tatum in one of our drafts because you're going to take him before me.
Got it. I don't know if I'm going to take him because I'm going to try and be strategic here.
We'll see.
Give me Jason Tatum. You can't, that look, that smirk alone was enough for me to say, I'm not risking it for a biscuit. Okay?
Okay. Give me Nikola Jokic.
I'm going to win this draft.
We're going band for band, player for player.
Give me Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
So he's like, what, your one guard?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm just drafting a team that's better than yours.
Word. We all know who won last draft, though.
Which draft?
Last draft. Last NBA draft.
Oh.
All right. At my second overall pick. I'm going to take Kyrie Irving.
He was never going to be picked. That could have been
Yeah.
your last pick, buddy.
I just wanted to take
But
him.
he's written down.
He's one of the best players in the NBA today. I solely believe that. And I just know
It's a great pick.
Want to be strategical with it.
Not when it was picked. Because
Let me cook.
There's better basketball players to pick
Let me cook.
in this current moment. That's all love to Kyrie. Take Giannis.
Let's go. Okay. So you got Giannis, you got SGA.
And I got Tatum.
Give me Victor Wembanyama to play my 4.
You're just picking guys that will not be selected. Good pick.
You know you like it.
Give me LeBron.
Give me Steph Curry.
Ah!
I'm not gonna let you take him. What the fuck? Come on now, Curry and Irving. I got Jokic and Wemby. Now it's all just gonna mold together. I mean, look at him. He's defeated.
Why did I take LeBron? I literally was just trying to take LeBron from you. I wanted Steph. I will always pick Steph over LeBron.
He didn't want me to get LeBron because he knows if I get LeBron, I'm a bronze sexual. I'm gonna feast off the bronze sexualness.
I can make up. You can have your Steph Curry.
Okay.
We know how to guard Steph Curry. We're gonna be a defensive ball club at the end of the day.
Give him Lou Dort with his last pick.
Relax. I need to figure out who I'm gonna take now. Gosh, you really had to do that.
Ripped his heart out.
I was cooking you too. You just saved your draft right there. You have a chance to win it now.
Oh yeah, I know.
But before that, you had zero chance. You were out of luck.
It's a marathon, not a sprint, fellas.
I know I had you though.
Trying to pick a little guy here.
Is he too ball dominant to be on this team?
I think I might have found my guy.
Defense wins championships, but greatness creates dynasties. And at the end of the day, the Dallas Mavericks made the biggest mistake in NBA history. And I will not make that same mistake. Give me Luka Doncic. I'm going to rely on the greatness of Giannis to play defense solely for this squad. Bro's got one defender.
Bro only has one two-way player on. Actually, no, never mind. But
Tatum,
yeah.
Tatum plays a little two-way.
Tatum
plays a little two-way. Shea.
Yeah, he's got
LeBron,
one elite defender.
Luka will stick you in the corner against whoever this guy picks next.
Yeah, might have to just match up with your team size-wise. I mean, 2 guards, 5, 4, 3.
Damari Carroll.
I'm really, really fighting to see who's going to be my last pick here, and I really don't know.
Can you just pick somebody already?
Yeah. Give me. Yeah. I like this pick a lot, actually.
Oh, no, he's smiling.
I like this pick. Give me Devin Booker. Team USA, baby.
Interesting. Very interesting. You went a little outside the box there.
Mm-hmm.
I kept it standard. I tried to take a win with Shea. Kind of bit me in the ass because I didn't end up with my guy Steph, who we all know is ultimately the most valuable player in the game of basketball until he retires.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know if we have any other things to talk about.
You didn't really go your traditional route with this draft.
What are you talking about?
With the little Curry and Tatum dynamic.
I get it, but I wanted to see if I could get Steph last because I stole LeBron from you. I stole Shea. I stole Giannis. I stole all these guys from you. You stole Steph Curry. You may have won the draft, but at the end of the day, it's up to the comments to let us know. So let us know in the comments below who y'all thought won this draft. Yeah. Me personally, I believe I took that one home. But only the comments will tell us.
Yes, indeed.
Is that it?
I believe that's all she wrote.
All right. That's going to do it for Imagine Sports, episode 182. Please subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Follow us there. Subscribe on our YouTube channel. And then, of course, follow us on Instagram. And stay tuned for the clips because, that's short form. those clips are going to be coming. They're going to be coming in hot, and greatness is upon us. So enjoy this episode of Imagine Sports. Leave a like. Give us a 5-star review, and we will see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.